free runnings. It's off to Cox Plate Day. So who's trying to win their first Group 1 today that's involved in this race? Well, jockey, it's Tom Sherry. Emma spoke to him earlier today. And for trainers, well, Danielle Siebes already had a great day. She's spoken to Kathy, and also we have Nathan Doyle, Will Friedman and Rob Archibald. Emma's caught up with Josh Parr, who's had some good success in this race in the past.
Josh Parr joins me riding El Costello today in the Spring Champion Stakes, and it's kind of been your race over the years. You've already won 2 of them.
Yeah, it's been a great race to me, Em. Obviously, those 2 victories were great. They were great days, just on a perfect horse each time. So let's hope today's very similar.
It feels like that could be the case for a couple of reasons. He's had a faultless preparation, continually going through the grades, and in terms of every distance challenge that he's faced, he's stepped up to it.
Yeah, spot on. His progress and his development has just continued to get better. Each time I've sat aboard him, whether that be at the races or track work, he's just continued to impress us. So he's a casual enough horse that shouldn't burn too much energy pre-race, which is important at the 2,000 metres. But in the same sense, in a competition, he's willing to stick his head out and really compete. So I'm really excited about today.
In terms of the map, there's a couple of the other fancied runners who are probably going to have to go back, namely Swift Falcon. You probably get pick of where you want to be. You were hoping to be 1-1. Is that kind of the goal?
Yeah, I think so. I in particular, because the track's playing quite quick, I think we land on speed without doing a lot of work. It's a big benefit to us. Obviously, Handline's going to be ridden a little bit further forward this time, which gives him a slight advantage on, say, the Gloaming Stakes. Swift Falcon could very well be last, and the sectionals that he'll have to run home in are going to have to be very, very good to run us down. So I'm respectful of him, though. He looks a talented horse, and he's running the Gloaming was really good. But in saying that, he wasn't able to run me down in the Gloaming, and I sure hope he's not going to be able to run me down today.
Oh, that famous Joshy Parr smile is beaming once again. You've got a lot of confidence about you today.
Thank you very much, Em.
Good luck, mate.
It's a beautiful smile, and Emma, 20 years ago, Savabeel, eh?
With the programming nowadays, Bruce, it's impossible to win the Spring Champion and the Cox Plate in the 1 year, but Savabeel was able to do it.
And what a horse he was, ridden by Jimmy and Chris Muntz there. He's an unbelievable stallion too. Like, he keeps producing year after year after year all of these top line horses, and it's lovely to see him there having a lovely pick at Waikato Stud.
Yeah, sire of 33 Group 1 winners. He stands for $100,000 there, and of course his progeny, as you mentioned, Probabeel, Lucia Valentina, A Tissue, Orchestral, I Wish I Win, Moonga. The list goes on, and that is the trophy for the Spring Champion Stakes. Only 3 fillies have won this race: Montefilia, Maid of Heaven and Yankee Rose. We've got a couple of fillies in the race this year as well, but it is just a terrific stallion-making race if a colt were able to win it, and a great race to have on a fillies page if she were to win it. So into the yard, the big Group 1 of the day at Randwick over the 2,000, and this is the horse they have to beat in El Costello. He jumps up to Group 1 grade after only breaking his maiden 3 starts ago.
Yeah, and I saw him just walk past, and he looks absolutely amazing in the yard. So he looks like he's just come through the runs in top order.
Swift Falcon hit the line smoothly in the Gloaming. He had the flashing light on him after having settled back that day. Unfortunately, with the gate, they're going to have to do the same thing.
Exactly. They're going to be back again in the field, and probably going to need a little bit of luck. They're going to need the speed to be on to be able to rattle home over the top of these horses.
This is Hen Lane. He's a colt by Dundeel, as you can see, with that beautiful flashy tail of his Tommy Berry to ride. He draws gate 1 today. He gives every indication that the 2,000 metres will suit him. The visors go on for the first time, so an important gear change there.
Yeah, I think that could be an important key indication on how this horse is going to run today. And like you said, he's drawn soft and gets every chance to be able to run a good race today.
Firm agreement. Tommy Sherry rides for Annabelle Neesham and Rob Archibald. Tom looking for his first Group 1 success, and
He flashed home along the inside in the gloaming. I reckon his run was quite hidden.
Interesting horse, isn't he? He's lightly raced and he's come through, easier form lines except for last start. And like you said, he was making good ground in good grade.
Danielle Saib, she's already had a winner today in the highway. Blinkers go back on Dew Calzini, a gelding, I should say, by D'Argento, who also comes out of the gloaming.
Yeah, big odds, but stranger things have happened, and I'd love to see a result for Danielle.
Flying Argento to be ridden by Zach Lloyd is still a maiden, and to break that in Group 1 company would be something, especially considering he ran in a 2100 metre Class 1 at Goulburn last start.
It would be a very, very large jump.
This is a filly with plenty of talent, though. We see her come through the Flight Stakes. She was really good that day behind Lady Shenandoah and giving every indication that the 16 to the 2000 will suit.
Absolutely, and looks good in the yard. And I think Sam's going to get a nice run from barrier 6 midfield.
And he's had a big week, of course, taking on Think About It. Nathan Doyle saying possibly she's the best horse that he has trained. Rag Queen for David Payne. Good in the gloaming behind the boys again. Chad Schofield in a rich vein of form.
And I think that this horse might be a little bit under the radar. I think David Payne can just lob with a horse like this. It's sort of maps right for me for a filly in this race.
Pleasure Artist comes out of the Dulcifer. Craig Williams rode on that day. Jason Collick gets the job today. A filly by Trapeze Artist who broke her maiden 2 starts back at Kembla.
Very lightly racehorse, and obviously the stable think quite a lot of her to be starting her in this race.
And Noises is the filly to be saddled up by Brad Widdop for Andrew Adkins, who jumps up from a 72 to Group 1 company. She's had an awesome prep, but this is a lot harder today. Expect her to be ridden right there on the speed. So Nathan Doyle saddles up Harlem Queen here. Let's listen in as to what he had to say to Connections and Jockey in the mounting yard.
Yeah, me and Sammy had a chat before. We're pretty well on the same path as where we want to be. We feel the horse in barrier 1, Henline, will hold a spot. It's made a bit of a tactic change. It's going to go forward, and it's got the 2 roughies drawn in 2 or 3, so it's not going to want to let them cross, so it's going to have to punch a little bit. The horse in 4, it'll probably come back and get cover. If you change the barriers 5 and 6 with us and Rag Queen, because we're probably going to want similar spots, the favourite's drawn in 7, it's going to press forward. It's going to, not a long run to that first corner, so we're just going to have to leave it up to Sammy a bit, but he'll squeeze, get her into a rhythm. If he looks like being posted, he might have to come back in behind Rag Queen, but we've got to be mindful. Rag Queen's got the blinkers on for the first time, and they can miss the kick a little bit, so if that happens, Sammy will sort of...
That's fascinating stuff.
Speed on, I think he'll be flashing home. And the filly down the bottom, I just noted from the yard, gee, she's a beautiful filly by Microphone. And her name's Noises, Bruce.
Yeah, she was absolutely glowing. So, in a way, big day for Tommy Berry here, isn't it? He hasn't won a Group 1 for a little while, and for the Hawks, it's been 3 years since the Hawks team have won a Group 1, and they get a good chance here.
A huge couple of stories here as well. Josh Parr, he's looking for his 3rd spring champion. As you said, Tommy hasn't won one for 2 years. It feels like the renaissance of Tommy Berry would be complete if he were to win this Group 1 here today. Nathan Doyle looking for his first, as is Will Friedman. David Payne, a master trainer with Rag Queen, firm agreement. Tommy Sherry looking for his first Group 1. So there are stories galore. Nearly all locked and loaded. Here's Darren Flindell for the call of the Spring Champion Stakes.
Field of 10. And they're off and racing. Henline jumped fairly off the inside. El Costello left well together with Noises, Flying Argento. And now Henline's driving right along the rails, trying to hold a lot of them out. Harlem Queen burst through the pack, followed then by Pleasure Artist, who plonks down on the fence. Firm Agreement slots over on the outside of Rag Queen, and Swift Falconer has dropped back to last from the wide gate. So Noises goes on with the job now, and Noises looking for an outright lead. Henline under restraint, and now the favourite El Costello strides to a clear second. So Josh Parr's taken bad luck out of the equation. Favouring second, Henline 3rd, Flying Argento back to 4th. They're followed then by, over on the inside, the Pleasure Artist, racing on the inside of Harlem Queen, then Dew Calzini, Rag Queen, Firm Agreement, and Swift Falcon is back last of all. So it's Noises in front approaching the 1100 metres. Noises out by a length and a half on El Costello, who appears to have switched off very nicely there in second position. He's shooting for 4 in a row today, El Costello. And Henline a lot close in the run. Park third on the inside is Flying Ajetto, one of the roughies. The maiden gets going down the side of the track and puts some pepper into the race. Flying Ajetto takes the lead from Noises. El Castillo back to third, 2 after Henline. They're followed then by Pleasure Artist on the inside of Harlem Queen. Then Rag Queen. Now Jay Ford's taking the opportunity to start a run on Swift Falcon at the 600. Dropping Duke Calcini and also Firm Agreement. Coming to the turn and Flying Ajetto showing the stick now from Noises coming up again. El Castillo chimes in 3 wide. 2 further back to Henline. 5 further back to Swift Falcon, who's making good headway. El Castillo takes the lead inside the 300 with Henline closing in. Still several lengths away to Swift Falcon. It's El Castillo and Henline head and head on the inside. El Castillo from Henline. It's going to be a fight to the end. El Castillo's lifting from Henline, and El Castillo won the spring champion, fending off Henline, and Firm Agreement ran through into third, followed by Harlem Queen. Then Pleasure Artist. Swift Falcon with too much to do. Missed the top 4 or 5 at the end. Then Noises. Further back to Flying Ajetto, who certainly spiced the race up a bit, finishing towards the rear with Duke Calzini.
So Anthony Cummings wins it for the 3rd time, and Josh Parr wins it for the 3rd time. And Kathy, it just worked out so well, because when Zach Lloyd took off, it really made it just perfect for El Castillo, and he was just too strong, wasn't he? He's a good horse.
He really was too good in the end, and it was just such a superior, confident ride from Josh, because when the filly went around and Zach injected some speed into the race, and it was needed because they were going slow. They carved out a 13 from the 1,000 to the 800, which is steady. And he just didn't go with them. He knew what he had underneath him, and then the horse was just ultimately the best horse in the race, and he was very strong late. Helene had its chance to run him down, but he was strong. I think the further they go, the further he wins by.
1, 3, 4 and 8, I agree with you. So he's won the Gloaming Double. Anthony Cummings gets a 24th Group 1 and Josh Parr at 11th. Here's Emma.
How are you?
Congratulations, a Group 1 for this horse who has just taken all before him this preparation.
He's just a very good horse. The preparation went perfectly. Everything worked out. He turned up the best horse today. I still think he improves again. I mean, it's a dumb thing to say, I know, but if I had to pick Volt today, maybe half a run short. But today's race, in the next week, he'll be fine.
Russell Bowen is very excited.
All to say, we're in good shape.
Are you? I'm scared. Will you take him to the Derby?
Standing here today, the decision is yes. But we've got to get him home, make sure that he's okay, and tick a fair few boxes before we do that. But I mean, that was the plan. The preparation was set up so that today's race would give him the step to go to the Derby. Looks like that'll happen.
And see a tear in your eye.
Well, yeah. I mean, he's a nice horse. We do it because we love the horses. Nice to see him do well.
Congratulations, Anthony.
Good on you.
And his sire Castelvecchio was second to Leach Khrushchev 5 years ago in a Cox Plate. And this horse was second to Broadsiding in a Fernhill, and he's just gone from strength to strength.
Yeah, he has. He's been beautifully placed by Anthony Cummings, and you can see it meant so much to him. He's got his hands on a real star in the making, and no doubt his next run's going to be he's going to be right in it as well. He's a beautiful colt.
And the filly ran 4th, Harlem Queen. She's run a good race. Castelvecchio's first Group 1, and John Massara is smiling. Oh, pride of Jenny. Oh, boy, she'll bring the house down if she's to win today. She's arrived. The vet said she's okay, and Dan's down close to her stable.
This is a view of Pride of Jenny that not many other jockeys get to see. This is her beautiful head and beautiful eye. Hello, darling. Today she goes around in the Cox Plate, and you know she is going to set this field on fire. She is a 3-time Group 1 winner. She is the reigning Horse of the Year. She's going to jump from a sticky barrier in Barrier 8, but it doesn't matter because she is going to go forward. She is going to go off the front, and they are going to be trying to catch her today. Pride of Jenny might just be a 2024 Cox Plate winner.